Hello everybody and welcome to another League wrap-up. Today I'm going to be playing Amulet, and I'm going to be doing something that I've been wanting to try for a while, and that is cutting blue from the deck. So this means no more Teleria West. There's been a lot of lists that it used to run 2. Teleria West went down to 1. I'm going to try going down to 0 Teleria West, 0 blue mana. So this will give me access to more red mana with Cruel Turfs, and more white mana with Sanctuary, making it a little bit easier to get Slayer's Strongholds and activate Sunhome, not super reliant on only the Boris Garrison being the source of red and white. Also have Valakut for red to help out with that as well. And then with No More West, I'm actually cutting Summoner's Pact down to 1, which seems crazy. This deck, Summoner's Pact, was a really big staple in it, but I just don't think Summoner's Pact is what it was before. There's so much Blood Moon in the deck, which prevents you from playing Pact or makes you play around Blood Moon so you don't lose to Pact. There's Chalice of the Voids still being played, Chalice on 0. There's things that prevent you from playing 2 spells in 1 turn. Like the downsides to it, there are a lot of them. And I'm just gonna try only playing 1 Pact. It is probably gonna feel a lot of times in this league where I wish I would have had more Pacts. Just being able to like Pact for a Grazer for that extra mana is a really good thing, but we're gonna try it. We're gonna see how it works. And then in place, we're gonna be playing Green Sun Twilight. Now this isn't as good as Green Sun Zenith, but it does do some different things that Green Sun Zenith doesn't do. One thing being that it doesn't have to grab a green creature, which is why we're going to be playing Emrakul in the deck, because we can grab that off a Green Sun, put it directly into play. It also can get a land and put that directly into play as well, so that's good for this land heavy deck. And playing Term Timber as well, as this card can also grab Emrakul and grab some of the different creatures from the deck. Sideboard, we got, without West, Engineered Explosives is a little bit worse because we can't grab that with West, but we are going to play Blast Zone in place because we can grab Blast Zone with Map and with Titan and with Green Sun, or Green Sun's Twilight. And then I don't have Endurance. Endurances probably would be better than Relics, but Relics at least we can grab off of the Sagas, so they're there to help with some of the graveyard decks that we might struggle against. To Dismember, we have Jukabog, and without playing blue, we get to play 1 Gagari Root Farm, which will help us in getting that black, so we don't always have to just pay the 4 life to cast Dismember. Also have more white mana, so Jamoka is something that's going to be a little bit easier to cast. And it's a really good card against Murktide that it can't be countered, and it's a 5/7 lifelink flyer, so 7 toughness is very good, being able to not die to a heat. And that is the deck that we'll be playing today. So with that, let's get into the first round. currently 1-0, starting match number 2. We lost the die roll again, so we'll be on the draw. Good starting hands, maybe turn 4 Titan. So they start off Stomping Ground Hierarch. Don't exactly know what that means. Start off the Grazer, just stop that block. And then we can just play the Amulet next turn. We have enough land drops to utilize the Grazer too, so. Okay, so it's Goblins. Alright, Steve's a good draw. Drop the Amulet, play the Steve. Next turn, we should be able to Titan. We're gonna have a Ringleader here, play from the top of their library. They reveal 4 cards, only get 1 Goblin off of that, another Snoop, so. But their top card is going to be a Matron, which is going to be able to allow them to search for their combo piece. Attack in here for 3, it's an easy block. We need to sack this Steve anyway to cast a Titan, so get a block out of it. Sack it, get our lands. Another land, so we can't give the Titan haste here, so we'll just play out one of these bounce lands, bounce a forest, play the Titan, and then not really too many good things we can do here to try to stop him, so best is just try to get these Valcuts out, so if we do get a Dryad off of this Green Sun, we'll be able to kill the board. Or kill them. And they just have the Harbinger on top, which means they get to play it, search for Kiki, and they can make infinite. They can use Snoop to make it a copy of itself, and just make infinite Snoops, and then they can, on the last one, search up a different Goblin to put on top, and then just sack them and kill me that way. So they get game 1. For game 2 against Goblins, I sided in the Dismembers, siding out 1 Cavern, not really going to worry about the can't be countered, and also 1 Pajuka Bog. They don't have a whole lot of graveyard interaction or things, so pretty easy side out. We get to be on the play this time. This hand's not very good. 3 Dryads, a lot of lands, like no payoff, no really. The best we got is a turn 3 Dryad and then play some lands. Not a good hand, so we'll mulligan that down. This is good. This is better. Looks like a turn 3 Titan, so definitely keepable. The Green Sun's probably the worst card here. It's possible the Grazer. We don't have a whole lot of land drops, but the Grazer is 1 additional land, so or 1 additional mana. It could be relevant and could also be, a blocker. So I think it's a little better than the Green Sun when we already have the Primeval in hand. Start off on the Amulet. Okay, no turn 1 play for them. Alright, Dryads, an okay draw. Still missing lands here, but we'll get a lot of use out of this 1 Gruul Turf. As we'll use it to play Azusa, use our 2 land drops from Azusa to play our Dryad. And then next turn, we should be able to Titan. We could play with this land, but we want it in our hand so we can keep playing it next turn. Alright, they get a Snoop. We get the land, so now we get to So I want to make Valakut be able to kill this Snoop. So I'm going to try to, which is why I played out this force. I want as many lands on the battlefield as I can. So I'm going to bounce this, tap the Gruul Turf, bounce it. I have 4 total land drops this turn between Azusa and Dryad. So play the forest, play the Gruul Turf twice. But this time I'm actually going to bounce the forest so I can recast the forest. Now I can play this prime time and I can get 2 lands. Again, I don't want to get a bounce land because I want as many lands as I can. So I'm going to get the Valakut and the Slayers. That was with the Dryad, that will still allow me to activate the Slayers. And now on the attack, I'm going to be able to have enough lands that's going to trigger the Valakut. So attack in for 11, and then I go get a second Valakut and a bounce land. I don't have any land drops yet left, but I do have this Grazer, so I can put a land into play with the Grazer, which would be another 6 damage. So this is just lethal here. I kill the Snoop, but it doesn't really matter because it's enough lethal to kill the Snoop and kill them. So we get game 2. Game 3, no changes to sideboard plan, just running it back. We are on the draw this time. Okay hand here. It's a little slow, but if we start on this Saga, turn 3, we should have double Amulet with all these bounce lands. Hopefully we can get this Cultivator Colossus out and put in a bunch of lands and get the Titan, and then turn 3 should be either game or pretty close to game. Alright, they start for a fetch land, no fetch. Obviously this is going to be bad against Force of Vigor, but I did see green mana, but I didn't see many green cards, so I don't know if they will be running Force. I think it's worth the risk. This hand's payout is pretty good. Alright, so no turn 2 play. Dryad's good here. I can play bounce land. I want this Saga to reach its final chapter next turn, so I'm gonna just bounce the turf after I flip the mana. And I'm gonna play the Dryad, and again, I just want to get some lands out there. So I'm going to play out the Vesuva. Not really good things I can target, so I just get the Blood Crypt. It does give me black mana for if I draw Dismember. I don't really want another Saga, and Territory doesn't really help me. And then they are playing Blood Moon. I should have prepared for this better. Should have put something sideboard for it, but I didn't. So that definitely hurts. It ruins next turn. We would have got to play Cultivator Colossus and Titan. Now we don't get to do much at all. So this does play 5 forest, so we do have a pretty good chance of drawing a forest, which will allow us to use this green sun to maybe find another forest, or if we can green sun for 6 mana, we could even, cheat in a creature. So still have some draws. Alright, they get a tutor. And also, this Blood Moon is cutting them off of their colored mana, so they only have red. Dismember is good. I can cast that through Blood Moon on their Snoop, so they can't combo. And, I mean, they're also missing the black mana to be able to combo, so still not terrible spot. And they draw Kiki. So they make a copy of the Matron. Get to search the library now for another goblin. They just search out another matron. Still don't have the black mana, so no getting the black zombies. I'm just gonna go and dismember the Kiki now. I'm gonna do it. It's just they're gonna be a very good, efficient card if he can keep matron every turn. So I think it's worth it to kill it. And then, yeah, I drew the 1 of Pact on the deck when I'm facing a Blood Moon and no green mana, which is just ironically bad. And I shouldn't have swung here. I was just kind of distracted by the terrible draw of the 1 of Summoner's Pact. That was a free block for him, and now he just gets to attack back. He plays a Snoop. Free attack here that he shouldn't have. I don't know how much that 1 point damage is really going to matter, but it still was a bad attack. And now here's some matron that he searched up. So I don't know any other cards in his hand now. He's got another Kiki. And there's more green cards with my no green mana. Really need to draw 1 of my 5 forest. And then a Boseiju. And then maybe I can do something this game. Alright, there's that other Kiki he searched up. He doesn't have any attacks here. Matron. And he gets his Goblin Lord, the Trash Master. That is gonna finish me off here pretty quickly. Giving all his goblins +1/+1, being able to copy it to give him +2. And I draw another Primetime, another card I can't cast. So my out of a forest is getting a little late at this point. I'm just too far behind. And then he casts his Trash Master, makes a copy of it, forces me to block here or I die, so I chump block one of the 4 power creatures, sacks the Trash Master, plays another Snoop, and then sacks Trash Master, the one that's going to die anyway, just to kill the Amulet that's not actually doing anything. And then I finally draw my forest, way too late. I only have 5 mana, so this Green Sun's not even going to be able to put the card into play, but I still cast it just to see what I get. And I get Valakut and the Grazer. Grabbing the Saga is not going to do anything on their Blood Moon. I mean, really, none of these are going to do any good. I already played my land drop for the turn. He has lethal on board. We lose match 2 to Goblins. Current record 1-1, going on to match number 3. Again, we lost a die roll, so we will be on the draw. Very questionable starting hand here. It's got 2 lands. Green Sun can try to find us a land. If we pay 2 mana, we look at the top 2 cards and could potentially get a 3rd land. Make this hand a little better. So, gonna give it a try. Give Green Sun a chance to show its power. They go turn 1 Flooded Strand into Sacred Foundry into Ragavan, so I don't know exactly what deck this is. Alright, we did get a land, that's good. Go ahead and play out the Grazer for the blocker for the Ragavan. I'd rather would have led on the Amulet, and we did get the land to actually put in play with Grazer. Unfortunately, Turn Timber is not actually a land, so we can't put it into play with the Grazer. Okay, so it's Zoo. They don't have an attack, which is good, and we hit a land drop, so that's also good. We hit our bounce land, which is just what we wanted. So we can play it, flip the mana, bounce it, and we do not have enough to play the second Dryad out, so just play this tapped, which untaps. Now, I I don't know if this attack is just to get the trigger to draw and discard, or if he actually has the burn spell to kill the Dryad. Since he didn't attack with Vegavan, it's kind of points to me that he didn't have the burn spell, but Dryad's pretty important for what I'm trying to do here, so I'm just going to take the 3 damage. Let him get away with the free attack. Or the free damage, the attack was free regardless. And he has a Teferi. And he bounces the Dryad, which is weird that he wouldn't bounce his Saga. That's about to go to the 3rd chapter. So we flip the mana, get the 2nd Amulet. Now, each one of these 3 Dryads actually nets me 1 mana, so play a bounce lands, add 4, spend 3 to be able to get an additional land drop, play the 2nd Dryad, play my lands, make mana, play up my last Dryad, 2 more land drops remaining, which is still 8 more mana. Alright, 10 mana, green sun for 10. Alright, top 10 cards, a lot of choices. We do have a primetime here. So I consider getting the Stronghold here, but it comes in play untapped, and with double Amulet, I actually want it still in the deck. So I grab the Saga instead, so the Saga comes in untapped, and then I can put both of these into play, and then I can use Primetime to go get the Slayers. And yeah, he concedes here. It's lethal on board, so we get game number 1. For game 2 against Zoo, the only thing I had was Bajuka Bog, not great in this matchup, so I put in Care Keep. It can make some chump blockers against his non-trampling creatures. And that's about it for the sideboard. Similar hand here, at 2 lands. Green Sun potentially gonna show some power. Okay, not as lucky here. Didn't draw the land, but we still got some turns to draw the land. And they have the wear, so that is unfortunate. Alright, but we did get to bounce land, so go and get that out there. Play that one out, so next turn I can either play Dryad or Azusa with this untapped Forest. Okay, they got a lot of power out there now. Okay, got another bounce land, that's good. So that's going to mean I'm going to want to play with this Azusa, so I can just get as many of these lands onto the battlefield as I can. So I only have 1 land left to play. This Azusa's not actually all that useful anymore, so I'm just going to soak up the 5 damage here and take 3. Alright, more power. So now I have a decision. I can play the Dryad plus the Tribe Scout and then just play the Grazer as a blocker. That gives me 3 blockers. I can block the Nikado with the Dryad. Scout can block the Kavu. And Grazer could block 3 damage from the Brawler. Or I can hope for the best with Green Sun. So I am in this league to showcase Green Sun, so that is what I decided to play. play Green Sun X5, which means I'd look at top 6. But they have the Stubborn Denial, so that's unfortunate. Which now means they're going to get to attack in for 13. Putting me down to 4. So now I get to play at the Dryad. And now because I drew the lands, that does mean that when I sack this Tri-Builder, I will get to trigger the Valakut on the Dryad, which last turn I wouldn't have got to do. I go and play at the Grazer here, so I right now can survive one more turn if I block all their things and go to 2 life. But they have another Wear and Tear, which they use on my Dryad. So getting this force now actually will allow me to kill their Trampler, and then I can chump block their non-Trampler, and then I can live to 1 life. So it is actually, I do lose my blocker with the Steve, but I'll actually live this way. Unless they have any answer, which they do, to Fairy, bounces Grazer, and they attack for lethal. So on to game 3. We are on the play this time. Opening hands, not good. We saw at least 2 Wear and Tears last game, so starting on turn 1 Saga doesn't seem all that great, especially with the rest of this hand already being slow. If they hit the Saga, they just slow us down even more. Don't even have the red mana for the Care Keep right now, so not a keepable 7. This is definitely better. It is going to be tough to decide what to put on bottom. All these cards are really good and work really well together, but I think the Grazer is just, I can't play it on turn 1, and I already have the Dryad to net me mana, so I think the Grazer is the worst of them in the hand. So start off with the Amulet, and there you go. Turn 1 bounce, or turn 1 come play tapped. So now we get to turn 2 Dryad, and then play out the Saga. They can't Wear and Tear yet, which is good. Alright, they play 5-3. Draw into another Green Sun. So Pact may have been better here because I could just Pact for a Primeval Titan. Would have to worry about paying for an upkeep next turn, but it would definitely be worth it. So I again try to maximize the amount of lands I have out, so I play out the Sun Home over the Sanctuary. That does mean this Green Sun's gonna dig 1 deeper, but X is still 5, so whatever I hit, I will be able to put on the battlefield. So we look at top 6 cards. Didn't find the prime time. Again, Pact would have found the prime time, but we do get to get 2 cards off this. Get a Dryad and another bounce land, so. Play the bounce land. I don't know why I tapped it there to flip the mana. Leaving untapped doesn't really do anything either though, so. Alright, they attacking for 5. I have a lot of mana here. I will trade one of these Dryads for the 5/3, so I go and double block. This also turns off the Stubborn Denial, being a hard stub, because it kills this 5 power creature. So it's a fine trade for me. And they have the wear and tear as expected. They don't kill my Dryad, but they do kill the Saga and the Amulet, which does hurt my mana. And then I draw the Emrakul, which I guess if I would have dug one deeper on that last green sun, I could have hit the Emrakul, and that probably would have been enough to just win. But I can still play my land, and then bounce and play another land to get 6 mana, so I can do another green sun here. This green sun, again, not hitting prime time, and hitting another Dryad. But this time also a Valakut, so Dryad Valakut's not bad. I don't get to actually start triggering the Valakuts yet. But one more land and I can start triggering Valakut. And they have another wear tear. And the Fairy. And then they bounce my Dryad. Alright, I do draw the bounce land, which is good, so I play up my Dryad, play up my bounce land. I'm nowhere near getting to this 15 lands, so I'm just going to keep returning this bounce land because it's just a lightning bolt every 2 lightning bolts every turn with the Dryad. So kill their Teferi and then deal 3 damage to them, putting them at low health. Here I realized that I tapped my mana wrong. I should have tapped the Valakut instead of the Sunhome. I would have been able to double strike my Dryad, which that first strike damage would mean that I get an easy block here. But because I didn't do that and I don't get the first strike block, I just take it. I don't want to risk losing my Dryad. It is 6 points of damage return on the Valakut triggers. And they hit my prime time, which is sad. I would have liked to have drawn that. And they play Scion, which is just going to die to 2 land drops. But I draw Titan anyway, so after 2 green suns not hitting Titans, back-to-back Titans on top of my library. Yeah, that gets another Valakut, gets another Suva, and just kills with landfall triggers, and we get match number 3, leaving us at 2-1. Match number 4, again, lost to die rolls, will be on the play, draw. Will be on the draw. Not a great starting hand, maybe turn 3 Titan, if the Saga can get to a 3rd chapter, get a 2nd Amulet. So, worth trying. Turn 1, not quite sure what we're up against. Go and lead off on the Amulet. Another bounce land's not what we wanted to draw here. Grazer's pretty good draw, allows us to play this bounce land out, play the Grazer, and still make a token. I do stack this Saga here wrong. I should always put the untap first and then the Saga trigger, but it only matters when you have 2 Amulets out. But I don't get to tap it after I untap it. Just go make a token here. And then there's a Pact for an Outsource Rider. They can't pay for the Pact, so yeah, this is a combo, Gristlebrand combo. There's a Neoform, there's the Gristlebrand. Here is the turn 3 combo. So they, I guess, now have to go with the Mox Armor plan. Since they don't have Simian Spirit Guides anymore, that's how they used to win. So now they're just making black mana. Gotta figure out what they do with that. Endurance to shuffle their graveyard back. Another Pact. Nourishing Shoal to gain more life so they can draw more cards. Playing Mox Amber out a few more times to get more mana. Alright, so that's their new win con is here's an Aether Effect Reservoir, and now they just play some free spells. Pact, yeah, they go up to 72 life, and then they can pay 50 life to deal 50 damage. So, we lost game 1, turn 3 to combo. Alright, combo has always been difficult for this deck, so unfortunately we don't even have that many good sideboard tools. This is a little bit more of a graveyard relying on combo, because I guess I got endurance to shuffle things back to be able to cast enough spells. So I put in 1 relic, and I took out 1 Tri-Builder. I don't think Tri-Builder is really particularly good in this match. Maybe the second relic could have been worth it. It is not a great answer to the sideboard, but if I play it and have 1 mana open, it will slow down or stop their combo. An okay hand here, turn 1 Amulet, turn 2 can play map and sack map to go grab some lands. And then we drew the 1 of Pact again, so can Pact for maybe something. Again, not a whole lot we can actually even do in this matchup, so I mean, maybe a more aggressive hand to try to just find the faster kill, I don't know. Go and play at the bounce hand. We also have the Beseiju, not that it really stops our combo, but it's good to have that open and available. Alright, so they have the Pact, so they're going for the combo. There's the Allosaurus Rider. There's the Neoform for Griselbrand, drawing cards, playing Mox, Pacting, gaining life, drawing cards, gaining life, drawing cards, making mana, Endurancing, shuffling back, making mana, alright, now they have 4 mana, now there's the Reservoir, and then, I mean, I miss it there because I had auto yield, but I could Beseiju. I turn off auto here so I can Beseiju now, but 41 cards in hand, like they have potentially 1 more Pact in hand, plus other instant speed spells that will stop. Yeah, there's a Nourishing Shoal to gain 7, plus the trigger. And then there's Endurance. So maybe if I would have Besiege'd sooner, I mean, they probably still have another Pact or another Endurance or another Shoal or something else that they could still play from their hand to get another Reservoir trigger to still be able to kill me. So there's a turn 2 combo. Not a whole lot we can do about it. Just a bad matchup. So 2-2 in this league now. Last match, this one would either decide on our 3-2 or our 2-3 record. Finally won the die roll, so I will be on the play. Interesting hand. It's got not a lot of lands and a lot of ways to put them in. We can have all of our lands out on the battlefield by turn 2. It's keepable, and hopefully the Grazers will do some blocking and some stalling. So go ahead and put in the come play top land. So basic planes, giver runes, kind of points maybe towards hammer. So we got another land, which is good. Now we're just one land away from Titan. Okay, so it's taxes. there's an Amulet with no come play top lands. Gonna play it to Cavern, so now we just need a land to cast this prime time. We won't have the mana even if we draw a bounce land to pay for Arbor tax and play the Titan, but getting a 6/6 out against him is still good. Okay, so they take our Amulet. Well, there's our land, but it comes in tapped, and they just took our Amulet, so next turn we should have Titan. There's a Ghost Quarter. I have the mana to pay, so not really afraid of the Ghost Quarter. So I don't know why they attack with the Arbor. Easy block there. Zeus is not very helpful. We don't have any lands left, so I'm going to tap out for the prime time, which does mean this Ghost Quarter can take a land for free, but it's worth it to get a 6/6 out. Okay, so they play a Battle Skull. Not too scary. Also means that they can't Ghost Quarter me, which is good. Grazer, again, more ways to put lands into play, but no lands actually put into play. Pay for the Arbor before I attack. Just make sure I don't miss that trigger. Or miss, it's not even a trigger, just miss that effect. So here, I could get the double strike land, but with it come play tapped, doesn't really help me, so just get a bounce land and a Boseiju. That will allow me to destroy the Battle Skull. Because as of right now, they could block and pro-green their Germ token and only lose their Apprentice, and I lose. Yeah, so that's the play they try to do. Then they target the Battle Skull with the Giver, giving it pro. Or no, they can't target the Battle Skull because it's only Giver only targets creatures. So they target the creature, giving it pro colorless, hoping to protect the Battle Skull, but it just unequips the Battle Skull because the creature has protection from colorless and the Battle Skull falls off. But the Boseiju still resolves. Arbor prevents them from searching, so they don't get a land. And then, because they give her the wrong thing, the Apprentice died and I got a token. So now I still have my 2 open. I don't understand the Apprentice here to kill a Grazer. But I still have the 2 mana open for the Ghost Quarter me. So I could go the green sun here. It is tempting. But I think I just want to get to combat first. Attack in for 6. Paying the 2 again to make sure I can search. And then just get some utility lands with the Saga and the Lair. So they just chump block here, and they don't even give her. Which is kind of weird that they didn't even give her to save their. And then I try to cast my Green Sun, and they concede before I even get to cast my Green Sun. So, unfortunate I don't get to showcase the card. Game 2. Against Death and Taxes, sided out. Cavern's not very helpful, they don't really counter. And then took out the 2 Tribe Elders. They're a little bit worse when you gotta pay 2 mana to search. Also, they fetch out my basics, and these types of decks, Death and Taxes, normally do a lot of things to search your basics like Ghost Quarters. So just having less things that I search out my own basics help keep the Ghost Quarters from failing to find. And then put in the 2 Mights. I saw the Battle Scroll, which most likely means they're a Stoneforge deck, and if they're playing Stoneforge, they could be playing other equipment as well, so the 2 Mights seem like a fine thing to side in. And then I put in their Care Keep, just not particularly good against them. I just would rather have that than Cavern. Not a great starting hand. We did get the Might, but turn 1 Might, turn 2 maybe a Bounce Land, which is just going to be bad if they have a Ghost Quarter, because it could really set us back a few turns, so not a great hand here. Mulligan that. Alright, much better hands. Turn 1 Amulet. Little difficult decision of what to put back. So the idea, turn 1 Amulet, turn 2 Azusa, turn 3 we could Colossus. So with that, I think Saga is just maybe the worst of the options here. Plus, I don't know how likely the Saga is going to be to get to Chapter 3. So I think just putting that on bottom's the best. We start with the Giver again. And we start with the Amulet and Vigor again. Alright, there's the Arbor. Part of the reason Saga wasn't worth keeping. Alright, map's not too particularly good. So I could just bounce this turf, play the Azusa, and then not play anything to just go all in on this Colossus to have 3 lands in my hands. Because the following turn I could just play my 1 bounce land 3 times, plus play this Fountain. That's 7 mana with 3 lands in hands. But that is easily stopped by them killing my Azusa or my Amulet. And then I'm just, if they do that, I'm in a very bad shape. So I don't want to try to go too all in on this Colossus. And I will just bounce the Fountain here. And then replay the Fountain. And then I'm actually even going to play out the turf as well. This still gives me 2 lands in my hands for Colossus. And I can play out this map. But the big thing is that I am able to save up 2 mana too for this Arbor, so if they try to Path or they try to Ghost Quarter, I can pay for this Arbor. And I could even play Sanctuary. No, I'd be 1 mana shy of paying Arbor, cracking map, and playing Cultivator Colossus. Go attack for 2, no blocks. Yeah, there's a Ghost Quarter. I have the mana open. Alright, so that's good. Another land's gonna help me get more value out of this Colossus. So play lands. Play it again. And then I'll keep 1 land drop here and just play the Colossus. Which Colossus is actually doing well here against Arbor. Although prime time I would have been able to pay for the 2 and play, but it's actually still pretty good against Solitude too, because I'll get to still get the trigger here, which will turn these lands into cards. They have the Ephemerate as well, so they get to kill both my creatures. A little sad I didn't get my 3rd land drop. I was trying to save it. But I get to put all these lands into play. I only draw into 1 land, but I do draw a Primeval Titan and the Dryad. Pretty good here. Put all these triggers on stack. I don't know why I'm tapping this mana. I could just leave these lands untapped. I am gonna bounce the Fountain in one of these Sanctuary, so I definitely should have left this untapped. That was a punt there. Because calculating out the mana, I don't have enough to pay for Arbor and play Primeval Titan, and with them having an Ephemerate that's about to go off during the upkeep, I don't want to play a creature into their Ephemerate Solitude, so I just play the second Amulet, and then pay for the Arbor, and just go and crack the map. Just with the mana floating, I messed up, I shouldn't have it, but I'm going to spend it. And then I just get the Beseiju. It's a good land to have in my hand in case of something they do I need to answer. And then they Ghost Quarter. I don't know if they forgot that I've already paid for the Arbor, so that's actually good for me because now I can pay for the Arbor on their turn if I need to. They don't have any targets here to rebound. I mean, they could target the Solitude, but it doesn't do any good. So now this Tech Edge, it's online. I have 4 more lands, so they can destroy one of my lands, which does mean this land I play here, in response to the Amulet triggers, if they kill it, I don't get to untap it, and it does set me back quite a bit. But that's still the best land to play, and I can still bounce one of my other lands, and then play Dryad, and then play the other bounce land, so it's not too bad. And then I don't know if they're saving that mana for something else, so they don't see that line, but they let me get all this mana, so play it, bounce it, pay for the Arbor so I can play this Prime Time, and then I'm tapping my mana poorly here. I don't know why it kept the Care Keep up instead of keeping green mana up. I keep the white mana up so I can haste this Prime Time, but I don't know why I kept the Care Keep mana up. Alright, so they try to draw something off the Canopy. Just weird that they would do that over Tech Edging me, but they also could have Tech Edged the Slayers to prevent me from getting hazed. I don't know. But again, I just try to get a lot of Valak Cuts out, so this Dryad's going to be really good. But I don't actually get the green mana to cast it, so I really wish I wouldn't have kept this Care Keep untapped. But I do get in for 8, and I have a lot of red mana open. Next turn, I'm going to be able to play this Dryad and do a lot of damage. Alright, so they have Solitude again. Exile my Titan. Attack in. I left it open, so I might as well use the Care Keep, make a Trump blocker, block the Solitude, preserve my 28 life total. So now I'm at 26. And I just draw another Prime Time, so get to play at the Dryad, and I don't even get to cast my lands, or my Prime Time, or this Green Sun, so finish up this league, 3-2. First game looked pretty good for Green Sun. First match, the rest of the matches didn't really get too much of a showing of the card. I don't know. I don't know if it's better than Pact. Definitely, at least this league, I didn't have any instances where I really felt like I wish I had blue mana and Teleria West, so that's at least good. A good indication, but I don't know. Have to do some more testing with the Green Sun. Leave some comments. Tell me what you think of the Green Sun. Let me know what you think of the builds. If maybe Summoners Pact just isn't good in the meta right now. We lost to combo. Really, Summoners Pact are not turn 2 combo. We just don't have a lot of answers for it. And then we lost to Goblins, which was also combo, so just lost to 2 combo decks. Not really much this deck can do against combo besides try to be faster. Well, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Again, leave any comments, suggestions, feedback of what you think of the deck. If the one random pack left in, maybe that should be something else, or maybe I'm missing something else that could be better. Bye for now.